What is going on, YouTube? NewAge here, bringing you a special segment that we're going to be doing every week now. It's one of the segments, I'm sure I should have mentioned it by now, that I'm going to be doing specific segments only on the weekends. This is one of them. It's going to be coming every Saturday to you, and it's going to be our top 10 or top 5, really depends on how many I like, I guess, of anything Pokemon related, anything at all. So this week's top 10, it's going to be, as a kind of to commemorate all of the new gym leaders and new Elite Four stuff that's been being released for Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. I decided to give you guys my top 10 Elite Four / champions. There you go. There you go. So let's go ahead and jump right on into this. So starting at number 10, we've got Elite Four Koga. Now this guy decided to put number 10 because he's got a history. He's got a bit of a history, you know? He was a gym leader in Red and Blue version. So you take him on as a gym leader. He's the 5th badge gym leader. He's got some of those bulky threats and that toxic going on, all that kind of good stuff. So then you move over next gen, go and play Gold and Silver, head on into the Pokemon League. Next thing you know, Koga's up in there, and you're like, whoa man, I was wondering where you went, but not really, because he was, you wouldn't have expected him to be in that game. But yeah, so he's got to be my number 10. He moved up from gym leader to Elite Four. He's the only one that I know of that's done that in the games, I can say, at least. So that's really cool. As far as like some other stuff, I gotta say, when I battled this guy when I was a kid, he was a real threat. I don't know about you, but that muck right there in the Elite Four, he'd like use Minimize and then Swagger and then just destroy your whole team. So this guy isn't someone you want to mess with. He got into the Elite Four for a reason, because he was better than the average gym leader. So moving on up, we are going to number 9, Elite Four Phoebe. Now, Phoebe is my number 9 for a few reasons. One, she's just adorable. We got the new art here. Look at this girl. Look at this redesign. I love it. I love so many things about Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, as I'm sure most of you guys do. But one of the main reasons I like her is because she is the first trainer, or the first Elite Four member, to run a full Ghost team. Now, I find this very impressive, because back in Gen 1, what Ghost Pokemon did we have? We had Gengar. That was about it, right? And then Gen 2, all we got was Mischievous. So then Gen 3 comes along, and we get some pretty decent ghost types. We get Sableye, we get Dusclops, we get Bayonet, all of these scary looking ghost Pokemon. And then they say, hey, know why we released these Pokemon in Gen 3? Because we're going to have an Elite Four member with these Pokemon on her team. And boy, does she know how to use them. Even back then, ghost Pokemon were a threat. They had the Will-O-Wisps, the Destiny Bonds, the Shadow Punches, the Shadow Balls, all that good stuff this girl had on her team, and she knows how to use them. So that's why she's my number 9. She's a real threat, packing the punch. Can't wait to battle her when Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire comes around. So moving on to number 8, we have Elite Four Aaron. Now, I don't know about you guys, but Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum, I love that game so much. It's one of the first games that I feel had great challenge to it, because the other games I played when I was a kid, so I wasn't really concerned with that. I was just in it to play it for the Pokemon. But by the time I was playing Platinum, playing those Pokemon games, I was looking for something a little bit more challenging. And Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum had that, definitely. You have such a great story. You have the strong Elite Four members, and then you have the post-game that's so long, and it's just great. I love the challenge. So anyways, that's why he's in my number 8, Aaron, because he is in this game and in the Elite Four, and on top of all that, he's running Bug Pokemon. Now, Bug Pokemon, people could say either they're really weak because they're too frail, or they could say they're horrifying threats because some of them are just devastating. For example, this guy, he got the Yanmega when it first made its debut into Diamond and Pearl. And Yanmega is terrorizing. Yama looks so adorable and then it evolves into this psychopathic looking beast. Speaking of beasts, his ace, Drapion. I don't know about you guys, but when I was a kid, I didn't know how to kill that thing. I mean, even still to this day, you tell me Poison Dark, I'm like, I don't know what that's weak against. It was just a confusing type to me. I don't know why. But he always got me with that, and to top it all off, he had the Heracross on his team. This man is clearly out for blood, clearly using the bug-type Pokemon to their fullest, and he knows what he is doing. So gotta give that man my respect for running the bug-type Pokemon in the Elite Four. That's why he's my number 8. So let's move on to number 7. For number 7, we've got Elite Four Sydney. Reason why he's my number 7, for one, this new sprite is looking all kinds of amazing. And also, he's another Phoebe case right here. Dark type Pokemon weren't introduced till Gen 2. We got like Murkrow, Umbreon, and Houndoom. Pretty sure that's all we got. So come Gen 3, we get all these beasts of dark type Pokemon. We get Cacturne, Shiftry, Mightyena, Absol, Sharpedo, and guess what? This man has all of them on his team. Practically every single dark Pokemon that got released in Ruby and Sapphire is on this man's team. So that is why he has got my respect so much. I can't wait to see what they do with him in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, because even if they do give him the same exact team, there's new moves out there, there's new ways of using Pokemon, and I'm hoping that he has all of that with him. Especially a man that's got Sharpedo on his team. Come on now. That's power. So he's my number 7. Let's move on to number 6. Number 6, we got Elite Four Marshal. Now, this man, he's terrorizing. Look at this man. He is ready to mess you up. So, one of the reasons I love this man, for one, his name. Come on, gotta admit it. There's 2 fighting type people in the game. There's Bruno and there's Marshal. Now, you get it, right? Marshal, like martial arts, that's hilarious, hysterical, can't stop laughing, I'm on the floor on my back right now, someone please help me. He is my number 6 because I think about it this way. Gen 1, there was Bruno, fighting type Pokemon. There weren't that many to go around. My man had an Onix just because there weren't as many fighting type Pokemon. Then they decide, alright, let's take a break from fighting type Elite Four members all the way up until we get to Gen 5. Now by Gen 5 we got so many fighting type threats out, and specifically in Gen 5, so many of these threats came out. And once again, this man is going crazy with these Pokemon. We got the Throw, we got the Sock, 2 extremely bulky fighting type Pokemon, and then we got the Mean Xiao with all those crazy moves like U-turn and fake out and knockoff, and then he's got the high jump kick to top it all off. And then last but not least, his biggest threat, we've got the Conkeldurr. Now that's obviously his ace, so we've got Bruno with the Machamp, Marshal with the Conkeldurr. If you ask me, I'd rather get punched than slapped in the face by a giant stone slab. Just gotta throw that out there. I don't know about you guys, but Marshal is my number 6. He's packing that power with the Conkeldurr, and he commands that respect. So moving on to number 5, we have got Elite Four Karen. Now, Karen, I have a long history with Karen. This girl is all kinds of devastating. I mean, like I said, Gen 2 comes out, not too many dark type Pokemon. They're first introduced, and they decide, hey, we're gonna have an Elite Four member who has these Pokemon. I don't know about you guys, but when I played Gold and Silver, I played through it probably a cool 10-15 times, to be honest. I was a kid, I didn't have any kind of life. Back when you're a kid, you had time to do all that stuff. And every single time I went to the Elite Four, I would beat Bruno and Wallace and Koga like it was no sweat. I'd beat them, move on. I get to Karen, no matter what. The first time I'm in the Pokemon League, I always have to lose to this girl. I don't know what it is, whether it's her Houndoom that's just flamethrower and everything to death, or her Umbreon that can just take hits like a champ. This woman is all kinds of powerful. And look at that pose. She looks like she's new to the Elite Four. She's looking pretty young, and she's looking like she's ready to show why she's here. And in my case, she did that over and over again. So now, let's move on. Number 4, we've got Champion. That's right, Champion Blue. Now, this man, I mean, in Red and Blue, it was the first game, and he is the only rival to make it to the Elite Four and become the champion. Unfortunately for him, you know, we had to come along, knock him off his pedestal, show him why he is our rival, and we are going to be the one on top. And that's exactly what we did, am I right? But before then, this man had to have some kind of power on his team to make it that far in the game to begin with. And he does. I mean, back in Red and Blue, he had what? The Alakazam, the Gyarados, the Pidgeot, all that stuff. Then the starter type based off of what you chose. I mean, come on. He is great. He didn't even run a single type team. He just ran everything that he thought was powered. Just because, you know, Blue's got a little insecurity problems. He's a try-hard. He needs to do what he can to win. So that's what he based his team off of. And then let's move on to Heart Gold and Soul Silver. Yeah, I know, he wasn't a champion, but he was a gym leader, and years had gone by. When you meet this man in Heart Gold and Soul Silver, you're just like, whoa, who is this man who used to be my rival? Like, he demands all kinds of respect now. He has his own gym filled with nothing but like the strongest cool trainers using all these different kinds of Pokemon. And then you go and battle him, and he's just like, I'm not afraid of you. I've moved on. I just know I'm a great trainer now. And you're like, alright, let's get this 16th badge. So, Blue is my number 4 just because he leaves that impression that a champion should leave. Speaking of impressions, we got number 3, Elite Four Bertha. Now, first impression, when you see this lady, she's just some old lady in a scarf, looking like she wants to give you some hard candy out of her purse or something. And I'm like, alright, cool, let's go. I'm excited for this battle. But then again, that's when I realized that Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum were the hard games. Because this woman is running a whole team of ground Pokemon. And ground Pokemon are all kinds of competitive. You have the ground Pokemon that have the status moves. You have the bulky ground Pokemon. You have the fast, hard-hitting ground Pokemon. And this lady has those on her team. Like in Platinum, she has the Gliscor, that physical wall, insane. Then we got the Hippowdon, the Sandstream setting up, hitting you with all kinds of attacks, and then getting hurt on Sandstream on top of that. And then she's got a Rhyperior to top it all off. I mean, these Pokemon are power right here, and she has them on her team. And I don't know about you guys, but I wasn't ready for her. She totally threw me off guard, and she put up a heck of a good fight. So that is why she is my number 3, Bertha of the Elite Four, the ground type master. Now, moving on. Number 2, Champion Cynthia. Now, your list may differ from mine, but I can tell you this for sure. Cynthia is somewhere on your list. Everyone loves Cynthia. I'm no different. Cynthia is just one of those people. She is in so many games that aren't just her own. And you could find her, I guarantee you, in practically every ROM hack out there. Everyone loves Cynthia. And the reason why, she is just devastating. I mean, that music when you walk into the room, when you're talking to her, then that battle music, I mean, man, she has you just cowering in fear before you battle her. And with good reason. This is yet another trainer that doesn't use a single type of Pokemon. She just says, hey, I'm from Diamond and Pearl Platinum. You're the last person, or I'm the last person that you have to battle. I want to make sure that you don't beat this game easy. And she does it. She's got all the threats. She's got the Togekiss, the Paraflinching, the Roserade, the fast special attacking, the Spirit Tomb back when it didn't even have any weaknesses, and you don't know what to do with yourself. That thing was just wrecking face. And then you got the Milotic, another Brokey Wall that also hits hard. And then the Lucario, the strong steel fighting Pokemon with the Aura Sphere, all that good stuff. And then of course her ace, one of the most feared Pokemon still, Garchomp. I mean, how do you not be afraid of this one? And I mean, on top of that, there are other reasons why I love this girl. For one, like I said, she's in other games. I remember I was playing Black and White, I don't remember which one, but I went into this town, walked into a house just expecting to find some random civilian there to maybe like give me an item or something, just going about my business. Next thing you know, I walk into this room, Cynthia standing right there in the middle of the room and says, "Hey, me and you, we're gonna battle." And I'm just like, whoa, where did you come from? This isn't even your game. And she's like, "Yeah, let's go." And I mean, I can't say no to Cynthia, she'll kill me. So we get our battle on, and that was a great moment in the game. I wasn't expecting it, and I was just like, wow, getting to battle Cynthia, that's always so much fun. Also, a little point I want to add in. I don't know if you guys have seen this before. I was still watching the anime a little bit, back around the Diamond and Pearl times. I don't really keep up with it anymore, but that's okay. Point being, there was this episode. So Ash had a rival named Paul. He was all kinds of arrogant, all kinds of cocky, and all kinds of mean. Just like a rival should be, right? So there's this episode where they all meet Cynthia, including Paul. And Paul's just like, "Hey, Cynthia, let me take you on because I'm one of those guys that isn't afraid of you." And she's like, "Alright, sure thing." Gets her Garchomp on, destroys this man's whole team. The whole team. And it was hilarious watching this guy lose in front of Ash and everyone else. So if you guys haven't seen that, well, yeah, it's on here for you guys now, and it is just amazing. So, finally, moving on, last but not least, I'm sorry if you guys saw this coming already, but can't hate me for it, you really can't. Number 1, champion, master of steel, fossil excavating expert, Steven Stone. Now, Steven Stone, I mean, come on. Running not even a full steel team, he runs what he loves. He runs the steel Pokemon along with all those fossils that he has been excavating. And he has the power. Like I said, with other, Gen 3 brought so many good Pokemon to the Pokemon world. That's another reason why I love Gen 3. Same thing with Steel Pokemon. They were just introduced in 2nd Gen, didn't have too many, and then you get all the threats coming in Gen 3. You get Mawile, you get Registeel, you get Aggron, you get Metagross. And this guy has some of those on his team, and he is ready to beat you down with them. Just the impression this guy makes. I mean, you just meet him in a cave, and he's like, "Hey, what's up, man? I'm Steven. How you doing?" And you're just like, "Oh, this guy seems cool." Then later on find out he's the champion of the Elite Four. So, this guy commanded all the power, and come Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, this guy's gonna have the most power you have ever seen from any champion to date. So that's why he's my number 1. Steven Stone. Love this man, respect this man, look up to this man right here. So that was it. That was my top 10 for you guys. If you enjoyed it, go ahead, leave a like. Like I said, it's going to be coming every single Saturday, different top 10s, different top 5s. If you'd like to comment and suggest some, that's cool. If not, I have some planned of my own that I'll be glad to do. And also, I'd like to see you guys leave your own top 10 Elite Four champions in the comment section below. In the comment section below, because I'd love to interact with you guys. So, until then, keep on watching, guys, and this is NewAgeSteel. I'll see you next time.